Hey everyone, you're listening to Blake James, Scorpio Ascendant. Today I'll be talking about Libra. Oh, Libra, good, you're here. I'm having a hard time deciding on something. Can I get your opinion?
Yes. If you choose the quick and the easy path, as Vader did, you will become an agent of evil.
How am I to know the good side from the bad side?
You will know when you are calm, at peace, passive.
You do know I'm just trying to decide where to position the new bed I bought for my room.
Middle, how about?
The middle? No, that doesn't work. It has to be on one side of the room or the other.
Twilight is upon me. Soon night must fall. That is the way of things.
What? You're not going to give me your opinion?
Better things than fighting should a Jedi Master be doing. Seeking wisdom, finding balance.
Who said anything about fighting? A Jedi Master? What do you mean? If you like this video, give it a like. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified whenever I post a new video. The name Libra derives from the Latin meaning scales. Libra is the 7th astrological sign in the Zodiac. The constellation spans 180 degrees to 210 degrees celestial longitude. The sun transits this sign on average between September 23rd and October 23rd. The symbol of the scales is based on the scales of justice, held by Themis, the Greek personification of divine law, peace, and justice. She became the inspiration for modern depictions of Lady Justice. Libra is the only zodiac sign that is represented by an object, with the other 11 signs represented by either an animal or mythological character. However, there are some ancient Eastern texts that showed Libra as the scales merchant, a man walking through a crowded market while carrying his scale. The symbolism of the scales are associated with the Roman deity Justitia, or Justitia. Justitia is a Latin word meaning Lady Justice. According to the writer Manilius, Roman judges are born under the sign of Libra. The moon was said to be in Libra when Rome was founded, and this was based on a historical passage which stated Qua condita Roma, which means the well-seasoned Rome, or the well-experienced version of Rome. Everything was balanced under this righteous sign. Everything pairs perfectly and everything seems to be the same at this time. Thus, why the Romans put so much trust in the balanced sign. In Roman mythology, it is Justitia who is the goddess of justice and the spirit of moral order and fair judgment as a transcendent universal ideal or based on immemorial custom. She is depicted as a young, slender woman carrying a balance scale and wearing a laurel wreath. A scale or balance is a device to measure weight or mass. The traditional scale consists of 2 plates or bowls suspended at equal distances from a fulcrum. One plate holds an object of unknown mass, while known masses are added to the other plate until static equilibrium is achieved and the plates level off, which happens when the masses on the 2 plates are equal. The perfect scale rests at neutral. This is a particularly telling trait among Libra natives, to remain neutral, indifferent, uninvolved, for it is extremely important for every judge and every referee to remain completely unbiased before forming any rational and fair conclusion. The ruling planet of Libra is Venus. Venus was a Roman name of Aphrodite. She was known as a Greek goddess of love, beauty, sexual passion, pleasure, and procreation. She is also the patron of prostitutes who served in her temples. The name Venus derives from the Latin word that means sexual love and desire, and is associated with the Latin venerare, which means to adore, or honor, worship someone, pay homage, or impersonate. In Roman mythology, she was the ancestor of the Roman people through her sons, Aeneas and Cupid, who survived the fall of Troy and fled to Italy. Julius Caesar claimed her as his ancestor. Venus was central to many religious festivals and was revered in Roman religion under numerous religious titles. The Venus glyph shows a circle with a small cross below it. The Romans adapted the myths and iconography of her Greek counterpart, Aphrodite, for Roman art and Latin literature. In the later classical tradition of the West, Venus became one of the most widely referenced deities of Greco-Roman mythology as the embodiment of love and sexuality. She is usually depicted nude in paintings. The Latin name Venus, meaning love or charm, among her personal symbols are roses, doves, sparrows, and swans. Both the planet Venus and the constellation Libra rule the 7th house in the astrological chart. The 7th house is associated with marriage, peace, harmony, balance, love, beauty, interactions, matrimony, matrons, ladies, gentlemen, a husband, a wife, a bride, a groom, a union, kindness, politeness, respect, or a bond between two people, business partnerships, interactions, and compromises. Whatever sign is in the 7th house of your birth chart is also known as your descendant. Your fall, where you bend, where you fall prey to someone's will, how someone can influence you, or what kind of partnership you'll have. Manilius once said that Libra was a sign in which the seasons are balanced. Both the hours of the day and the hours of the night match each other. This is perhaps the most simplest way of explaining both the autumn and the spring equinox. Equal day and equal night. For those of us living in the northern hemisphere, the autumn equinox is the moment when the sun appears to cross the celestial equator, heading south. And for anyone in the southern hemisphere listening to this, Libra represents springtime for you. For you, the spring equinox is a moment when the sun appears to cross the celestial equator, heading north. The Libra glyph is 2 parallel horizontal lines, the top one with an arch at its center, depicting the sun setting. Libra rules the evening, sunset, dusk, and nightfall. Libra is a cardinal air sign. The element of air represents socializing, being calm, cool, collected, passive, interactive, communication, relationships, intellect, and left brain intelligence, inventiveness, and a talent for abstract thought, scrutiny, analysis, and inquiry. All of these qualities support the desire to see and promote justice and fair play. All cardinal signs initiate the change of season. The autumn season represents the aging process. Libra starts the aging process. It starts the second half of the zodiac. The second half of the zodiac is all about other people, whereas the first half of the zodiac is all about yourself. Libra starts this whole process of the second half of life, how we live life with someone else. Cardinal means to govern or lead, to take initiation and leadership. The cardinal modality has an engaging effect on each element, attracting and commencing the process of the element and becoming the representative or leader of that element. Libra governs the air element. This is when we start to compromise or make peace with people, to wave that white flag, or to sign peace treaties. Libra is about the one-on-one connection. Libras are usually inclined to see things from the other person's point of view. This is great, unless they have to do most of the bending. Then they will bend so much that they could end up forfeiting their own original perspective, which is fine for the other person. But later down the road, Libra will reflect back on the situation, mulling over their original ideas, and perhaps regret not sticking to their own natural instincts and impulses just to please the other person. Libras need to remember that while it's great to have equality, the other side of the scale needs to make adjustments as well. Both people need to make adjustments. Libra is about 2 people, not about 1. Libra rules the kidneys, the lumbar region, the endocrine system, and buttocks. Sodium regulates the amount of water in the body. Copper is used to treat copper deficiency, leading to anemia. Natrum phosphoric and kali phosphoric, also known as potassium, sapphire representing truth, sincerity, and faithfulness, has an extremely ancient history in mythology. The ancient Persians believed that the earth rested on an immense sapphire, which lent its color to the clear skies above. Traditionally, Moses was handed the tablets of the law carved on tablets of sapphire. It is also said to protect the eyes from infection. Other stones associated with Libra include opal, tourmaline, and jade. The need for balance and harmony in a Libra's life is paramount. They need a harmonious background, free of undue pressure and argument, in order for them to be happy. They will sometimes even make sacrifices for the sake of peace and quiet, giving in too easily to pressure from others, and when confronted with a problem, they are likely to sit on the fence until the problem goes away, rather than commit themselves to one side or the other. Decision-making or supporting one side of the argument often involves taking one person's side against the other, and Librans have a deep dislike of hurting other people. Indecision is the worst Libran fault. Librans find it more difficult to cope with loneliness than any other zodiac sign. Complete happiness for them means sharing their lives. Laziness and relaxation are often associated with this sign, but that is not entirely fair. While Librans may not enjoy heavy, dirty jobs, they certainly don't lack physical energy, especially if the work has a creative element. In fact, recent research has shown that those born within the first 5 to 6 degrees of this sign may seem relaxed because they make time to listen to other people's problems and sympathize in sorrow or share joy. But actually, they are very active and anything but time wasters. Librans are not psychologically whole until they have successfully achieved in finding their soulmate. Their usual indecision may take a back seat when it comes to romantic commitment. This is the only place where you will find them impulsive when it comes to someone they are attracted to. Librans are charming and very eager to please others, too much at times, and also overly generous to a fault. When it comes to work, the work itself isn't as important to them than the people they work with. Any opportunities calling for diplomacy, fairness, mild manners, and tact are great vocations for them. Although being too polite can sometimes backfire, but they'll never understand why, because being fair and respectful means everything to them. They cringe around fussy people, micromanagers, and anyone who won't allow them to do things at their own pace. They love to pace themselves, and any hurried scenario could get old real fast for them, and they quite quickly will be the first to point out how childish and impractical it is to rush too much for anything. They are ambitious, but tend not to aim for too much triumph and success. Not that they are incapable of achieving success, but because they know it will be too lonely for them at the top. And let's be honest, nobody ever gets to the top by being the nice guy. Only with a business partner, a spouse, or a friend, they can really succeed. After all, life isn't worth living without your equal half to enjoy it with. Librans tend to lack a sense of identity. They tend to choose partners that are similar to them, as if it's actually a half of themselves that they are missing. If they don't find someone with similar attributes, and instead someone completely different, they'll be inclined to turn themselves into the mirror of their partners, becoming more like their partner, adopting their values, their hobbies, and their mannerisms. They can't be too different from their partner. That would just throw everything off balance. They have to honor who they are with, even worshipping the ground that they walk on. They remember every detail and every little word or expression that your face made, making it easy for them to recognize you. This is how they can become a chameleon, in a sense, blending in. Having a great memory can be as much of a curse than it is a blessing. Remembering everything can sour the enjoyment of life and turn them very bitter and resentful towards people or situations. They need to take as much time as possible to mull over the choices and weigh out the pros and cons of their actions before making those choices, because they know it will take them so long to do it, and others will be waiting and putting pressure on them. They can't choose too hastily. It needs to be the absolute correct and most fair outcome for everyone in the situation, by trying to please everyone involved, which we all know can be impossible to please everyone, except Libra. They need to please everyone. They don't want to be alone, so this is their way of attracting people in hopes that nobody will leave them. Ironically, it ends up having the opposite effect. Not sticking up for themselves and trying to bow to everyone's needs or desires only attracts disrespect towards them. And if you can't accept, respect, or love yourself, how can you expect anyone else to accept you, respect you, or love you? Libras hate arguments and fighting, but often find themselves caught in the middle of them. Being the referee, the mediator, the marriage counselor, the peacemakers, sticking up for the underdog, or for someone that's being bullied or mistreated. They have a constant need to level anything that's offset. They are diplomatic, urbane, romantic, charming, patient, zen, easygoing, sociable, idealistic, peaceable, indecisive, changeable, gullible, easily influenced, flirtatious, harmonious, sympathetic, laid back, procrastinating, and resentful. Their motto? I balance. In Chinese astrology, they are represented as a horse. People born under the sign of the horse are clever, quick-witted, fashionable, popular among others, and have the ability to attract others. They are good at getting along with others, but they are not good at keeping secrets. They prefer social activities because of which there are usually too many overheads, preventing them from saving up money. Open-minded and positive are strong points for the person born under the sign of the horse, but the drawback is that he or she often cannot insist on doing things from the beginning to the end. Although showing positivity in the beginning, they easily give up once encountering small obstacles. Due to this reason, they are usually thought to lack motivation. Most of them like to leave away from home to struggle their own career when they are young. In Native American astrology, they are represented as a raven. Ever cawing with tact, talkative raven is the diplomat of the Native American zodiac. Raven people have a positive outlook on life that's contagious, along with a ceaseless quest for harmony. Raven, also sometimes designated as crow, has a sensitive, romantic side. The main challenge for Raven is trusting in their decisions. While they seem to be naive towards others, they are likewise idealistic and agreeable to a fault. Ravens spend a good amount of time trying to find the right partner. Sometimes, however, they obsess and miss other opportunities both in relationships and situations. Certain necessities may also go by the wayside until the situation becomes so blatant that Raven simply can't ignore it any further. The Native American zodiac depicts Raven as preferring the company of other ravens. They do not do well going solo and continually seek out a murder, which is a group of ravens, with which to hang out. Raven totem people love making others happy, but may forget to feed the inner self and strengthen that same happiness. Raven resonates with the cardinal direction of west. The west wind in the element of air is the month of dead leaves. Virgo, Leo, and even sometimes Cancer can reach stages later in their lives where their focus on finding the perfect mate will be of the highest importance to them. This may shock some people, leaving them to wonder why they are suddenly so easy to get along with, or even become a bit of a pushover. In middle age, Libra's harmonious nature will not disappear, but they may become less social and more rooted, and become deeply introspective, and gain a desire to transform their lack of power. As they progress into their senior years, they'll become the wise one, sharing their life experience to the younger generations, giving them hope for the future. For anyone who is struggling with self-acceptance or identity issues, I have left some links in the description below that might be helpful. What's fair for someone else isn't always fair for you. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe, and perhaps share it with someone. I'm curious to know if you have any stories about fairness or injustice, so please let me know in the comments below. Thank you for joining me, and have a peaceful fall.
Agreeable I am.